Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch on Monday, January 2nd, the year 2022 on our planet. I'm going to try to make this the first of several talks about preparedness, both practically and in the mindset. As we, first of all, I'm not a doom and gloomer. I look at things realistically. I'm not like some people who hide in their closet. They don't want to face reality. Wise. We're all going to be traveling down this highway, a multi-laned highway, and each lane is going to lead us to different problems in life. One is going to lead us to food shortages and food insecurities and famine. Another one's going to lead us to a seemingly orchestrated sequel to a pandemic, if you know what I mean. Another lane to the wars and rumors of wars, and another lane to our drastic weather changes that we're going to be facing. We ain't seen nothing yet. It's not biblical yet. However, there's going to be opportunities for us to take off-ramps to get off that highway. It's going to be a highway to hell, AC/DC. It's not going to be a stairway to heaven yet, Led Zeppelin. But in my opinion, there's going to be some exit ramps, some off-ramps. So you're not stuck with all those people like the horses with the blinders on the side, so they can't see to the left and the right. They can't see an escape route. They're just going to keep on going forward, being pulled down. But there are other YouTubers there who are heading to a collision, a crash, bang, like they are right now, arguing and disputing what's going to happen in the end. Yes, there's going to be a micronova. No, there's not going to be a micronova. There's going to be a crustal slip. No, there's not. There never has been. Blah, 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 blah. Distractions. They're going to hate each other in those lanes. Don't get caught in the crossfire. Folks, the world is already turning over. We're in just the beginning of the turmoil and the chaos, the beginning of sorrows and the earth pains. It's just the beginning. If you want to focus on what's going to happen in 2030s, 2040s, that's fine. I'm trying to focus on now and through the next few years to prepare us. And again, along the way in my talks, I'm going to suggest off-ramps to take to prepare the mindset and practically to lessen the struggles and the strifes that we all have to go through. Now, again, these off-ramps lead to a mindset and practicality of preparedness. And I'm going to give you a few examples. I've been watching some YouTube channels today, and they seem to be having second thoughts on subjects as preparedness and homesteading. I watch Popular Preparedness most of the time. I watch Travis of the Prepared Homestead a lot of the time. Anyway, there are alternatives out there. The topic of discussion in some of the YouTube channels today was there's no time to prepare. When an event happens or whatever SHTF scenario happens. There's no time. Maybe. I firmly believe in being self-sustainable, self-reliant, not dependent on the man in the system for all our needs. And even though I'm not totally 100% out there in the rural life, I'm on the outskirts of a city called Kelowna. But I've been doing things like growing our own food for years. Not enough, but you know what? It takes a big bite out of the budget. And I'm secure in the knowledge knowing that I have my homegrown, organic, fresh, free, convenient food. Not tainted or treated with chemicals, not rotting away as they are right now. Now you can approach things one of two ways. It's like being in school or university or college. You can either, one, wait until an event or events start happening. Then you have to take a crash course, or it's like the night before you're cramming for an exam. You're getting all stressed out and you're going to make mistakes. That's what a lot of people do. Or you can start early and take it semester by semester and acquire those skills and knowledge. And I'll give you two examples. In the beginning of the first pandemic, and food shortages for one reason or another, all of a sudden a lot of people wanted to start growing food in their front yards. And there's a lot of trial and error. They didn't know what they were doing. But they started, right? A lot of people got into canning, right? Canning jar and lid shortage. Panic, we gotta get going. Me, I started 6 years ago. I started over 6 years ago because I saw then what is happening right now with the onset of the grand solar minimum affecting our ability to grow food. I started practically 6 years ago, at least, by growing my own food under different environmental conditions. I was there 6 years ago, so it doesn't bother me now. Or you can wait until, I don't know, end of 2024 when you find out there's not going to be a whole lot of food left, and you're going to say, okay, what am I going to do now? How am I going to grow some carrots and potatoes, tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever? It's like when I used to take my occupational first aid. Every 2 years I had to recertify, right? And I would go in for my exams, and you would see all these people cramming through their textbooks and their binders, and they're struggling and they're sweating and they're all worried. Man, if you're not ready at that point to do your exam, you shouldn't be there. You're going to wait till the last moment to start learning these things. As for example, so with a lot of things, it's a learning process, preparedness. And preparedness is not like being one of these fanatics out in the bush, amassing your arsenal of weapons and bullets, your buckets of beans and your buckets of rice. Being prepared is such things as the little things as always keeping your vehicle topped off with gas, plus having a couple of 5-gallon buckets, proper gas containers, full, ready to go. I'll give you an example. We had a wildfire coming over the hill, coming down on my neighborhood a couple of years ago. I'm not worried. I got my truck. It's always full of gas, and I just put those gas cans in the back in case I have to evac and get the hell out. Meanwhile, everyone's all lining up outside the gas stations, panicking, trying to get their cars filled up full of gas. Gas stations running on empty. Not me. Ha 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 ha. I'm just driving on by. Simple little things. Having enough food and other essentials, water, toiletries, oral care, 6 to 12 month supply, stash in the event of a natural disaster, earthquake, for example. It could be anything. On the topic of having food and water and other things stored up, 3 months, 6 months, 8, 12 months, which everybody should have. And it's getting to be a little bit too late to start now, but you should start. By the time those stores are depleted, your stores, your personal food storage, then you're going to get really into hard times. So what you have stored up is only to get you by through a transition time as you're going through a major life change into regrouping and growing your own food and making connections with others who grow their own food so you can barter and trade. I don't necessarily believe in having buckets of rice and buckets of beans, and that's going to get pretty bland after a few weeks. So anyway, so preparedness is not just the mindset, it's practical steps you have to take. Preparing for the next pandemic that they seem to be planning on with another Event 201 type discussion that Bill Gates is holding on the next expected pandemic. Just like Event 201 1 month before the outbreak of the C-19. How are you going to prepare for that? So look for those off-ramps. All right. Don't stay on those lanes heading into the end of 23, 24, and 25. Because there's also two definitions of anarchy. Anarchy. There is the anarchy that's going to meet you at the end of that highway if you stay on course. The mainstream's definition of anarchy. The chaos, the violence, the destruction, the looting, the murder. That's the mainstream media's definition of anarchy. My daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, has a better definition of anarchy. Much the same as mine. And that's the break away from society, to not conform to society, to have a gathering of like-minded people to live independently from the man in the system and their control over you. That's a definition of anarchy. No, I'm not going to live by your ways. I'm not going to conform. I'm going to sever myself from society. We're going to grow our own food and we're going to help each other, and we don't need you, government. That's another definition of anarchy. Living an independent, resourceful lifestyle. Taking care of yourselves, not reliant on the government and the future beast system. It's one of those off-ramps, right? You want to take one of those off-ramps in between the highway to hell and the stairway to heaven. Now, going back to trying to be with other like-minded people or forming your own tribes beyond the comfort and coziness of your Facebook pages, computers. I think a lot of people are not going to see the need yet. I think maybe as we get into 2023, they will. But yet, you know who's not going to make it? Aside from the people being awake, it is the ones more concerned about their self-image and their lifestyle and their material things and maintaining a social standing up the ladder. They're so blindsided. They don't see what's coming. They're not prepared. Some of those people may be in your own family, right? And they're not awake and prepared spiritually either. So I think 2023, a lot of people are going to make some serious, difficult decisions. You're going to stay with those family members going down that highway, blind, right? Or are you going to pull them off to the side, say, no, we're going this way? It's time to get into the mindset of preparedness. Start your schooling now, semester by semester by semester, and don't wait till you get to the end of that lane and then bang. No food? What do you mean no food? What am I going to do? Lockdown? Another pandemic? I'm locked down? Climate lockdown? I can't go anywhere? As for the rest of the YouTubers, the fear porners, the red alerts, there's a lot of them out there. Ignore them, trash them. Stay focused. Start preparing. Start preparing with the mindset up here. If you have to, start writing it down. Man, I started years ago. I started years ago when I learned about Grand Solar Minimum, getting ready for it. I'm ready. I'm happy. No one else in my neighborhood is. We've all learned a lot through C19. I'm going to be interrupted in a minute. My daughter's going to be knocking on the door, coming in. Here she is. Hi.
I need my Advil.
Need your Advil? I'll find it in a few minutes, okay? I'm doing a live video.
Okay. Love you, bye.
See you. Love you. Bye. Shortly. Okay.
Can you? When are you going to get me the Advil?
10 minutes, okay?
Can you just tell me where it is?
I don't know. Ask your mommy, okay?
Mama said I'm not allowed to take the Advil.
Okay. I'm doing a live video here.
Mama said I'm not allowed to
Okay,
take
I'll get you in a minute, okay? Does that ever happen to Ben Davidson? Huh? No editing, man. Just gonna keep it in there. Okay, well, I gotta go, folks. We'll carry this on tomorrow. Bye.